और वो बोल दिया, मैं कह दूंगा उनको आगे बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट मीटिंग है। एक बार आप भी बोल दीजिए। फिर से अनुरोध है, प्लीज नारे मत लगाइएगा। मैं राहुल जी की टीम से भी बात की है, वो भी सहमत हैं। आपसे बहुत विनम्रता से निवेदन है कि आप प्लीज नारे मत लगाइएगा, बहुत विनम्रता से निवेदन है। मैं यहाँ आप सबकी तरफ से राहुल जी का बहुत बहुत गहराइयों से स्वागत करता हूँ। आप दिखाइए तो कि स्वागत कर रहे हो। थैंक यू, थैंक यू, थैंक यू। राहुल जी, छोटी सी राहुल जी, मैं थोड़ा सा चाहूँगा, हमारी कुछ प्रथाएं हमने रचनात्मक कांग्रेस में रखी हैं। एक छोटा सा गिफ्ट हमने आपके लिए बनाया है। एक हाथ में हम लोगों ने मित्रता का एक बैंड दिया है, वो आपको पहचाना चाहेंगे। और ये वो लोग हैं जिनकी मेहनत से आज का पूरा कार्यक्रम हुआ है। कुछ को आप बाहर मिले, कुछ यहाँ घूम रहे हैं और कुछ स्टेज पर आके आपका स्वागत करेंगे। आइए प्लीज़, आइए निशान जी।
संदीप छत्तीसगढ़ वाले भी हैं।
सिर्फ तो भी सिर्फ माला।
अभी नहीं अनाउंस करेंगे।
There's no Maharaj power of attorney given to the Paksh Pramukhs that you will vote according to what I decide. So that sort of, and then Maharaj,
2018 amendment is primarily to widen the structure of the organization.
that's correct. That's correct. Absolutely, absolutely.
Probably this is what you want to communicate.
That's correct. 2 posts are added, Maharaj. Saman Vayak and Saman Sangat.
This amendment is not meant to reduce
It's meant to enlarge.
numbers
Yeah.
of 99. It is only meant to widen it
Yes.
by adding some nominations or some appointments.
Maharaj, the point is, they said that since that time, the party activities extended to such a great extent and gone into rural areas, I need to actually add these numbers. But adding these numbers doesn't detract from the fact that they will have the right to vote. And top rank is entirely, so Maharaj, the decision-making bodies are elected. The administrative bodies and other bodies are executive. So if it's the treasurer, I don't have to elect him. So Maharaj, the whole reasoning of the election commission is contrary to Maharaj's well-settled principles and to the terms of the paragraph 15 itself. Then Maharaj,
Table at page 26, Mr. Simba.
yes, page 26. Pratinidhi Sabha, Maharaj. This is Paksh Pramukh, Rashtriya Karkarni, we've already shown to your lordships. Deputy leaders, Maharaj, 1 to 3 are all elected. 33, 21 in the deputy leaders, 13, 9, and Paksh Pramukh. Then members of the House elected, members of House of Parliament elected, secretaries, Sangathaks, Samanvayaks, and Rajya Sampark Parmukhs appointed, Rajya Parmukh elected, Zilla Sampark Parmukh and Zilla Parmukh appointed. This is the layout, Maharaj. And the argument is because there are a large number of appointed people, I won't look at this constitution. Why? Because as if the appointed people will vote only according to what the leader says. Then Maharaj's determination that majority in the legislative wing is decisive in awarding the party symbol. There again, Maharaj. This is the table from the election commission. See the situation as at that time. Eknath Shinde had 40 out of 55 in the legislative assembly. Maharaj, I had 15 out of 55. So I was in minority. Then members of the legislative council, he had 0 out of 12. I had 12 out of 12. Members of parliament, he had 13 out of 19. I had 4 out of 19. And members of parliament in Rajya Sabha, he had 0 and I had 3.
I had total 34.
So I have a total of 34, Maharaj.
53.
He has 53.
39 are disqualified.
Out of which, if 39 are disqualified, I am the majority. And on Tuesday, I'll show you why they should be disqualified, but they can't today, Maharaj, because there's another election. And Subhash Desai, Maharaj, said
Election Commission can't go by
election commission cannot go by, Maharaj, legislative majority. That directly said. So I'll take your lordships on Tuesday. Thank you. License.
So next Tuesday, then start the
The disqualification. Obliged. Just one para 107
AG mentions 25 is this matter.
of the convenience compilation,
We are now taking 25, 24 is over.
page 509.
Attorney mentioned
That Delhi Metro.
Delhi.
It's not listed today.
Yes.
He took a wrong list and I was wondering 25, how is
Only adjournment is short, so there is not a big issue.
There are 107 of the convenience compilation,
107 of
convenience compilation, page 509, Maharaj.
what I'm telling.
This is the election commission's order, Maharaj.
no other case will be taken up, the rest of the board is discharged.
Page 509.
But that does not mean that members of the bar should leave the courtroom. If you want to stay, you are most welcome.
So that only this is that they all come to see.
7 is some document, Mr. Sukhbir.
No. It's the convenience compilation is part of the order of the Election Commission.
50.
Page 509. Madam.
On the order.
Yes, Madam. Just page para 107 for a minute.
Para 107.
Page 509.
Yes, be that as it may.
Yeah, be that as it may, the Rashtriya Karkarni is being referred to by the petitioner and the respondent as the apex body with a numerical universe of 13. As mentioned above, the Rashtriya Karkarni is a body which is elected by Pratinidhi Sabha, which itself is a largely appointed body. Further, the 2018 constitution of the party states that the strength of Rashtriya Karkarni shall be 13 members. However, as per the letter of 27-2, by way of which details of the last organizational elections were communicated, names of only 9 elected Shiv Sena leaders were mentioned and details of the other 4 positions in the Rashtriya Karkarni were not mentioned therein. 4 Shiv Sena leaders were appointed by the Shiv Sena Paksh Pramukh, who are required to be elected by the Pratinidhi Sabha during the next organizational elections to become members of the Rashtriya Karkarni as mentioned in the party constitution. The credibility of the numerical count in Rashtriya Karkarni is being eroded by the smallness of the counting universe. What does that mean, Madhu? Being 13. So now the Election Commission wants that the Rashtriya Karkarni should have 20 or 25. What is the logic for this? Being 13 is also being denuded by an opaqueness in the description of its membership and it being situated in a non-democratic system. I just wanted to, Mullahs, indicate to your lordships, that's how the Election Commission is dealing with this matter. Now, Mullahs, I go back to what the judgment that the Election Commission relied upon, which is dispute number 1 of 1994, judgment of session, Mullahs. Your lordships will find that in the supplementary judgment compilation, page 26. Page 26. This is the Janta Dal dispute between George Fernandez and S.R. Bomai.
What is it? This one?
No, page 7.
Page 26. Compilation at page 26. Supplementary judgment compilation at page 26. That's correct. Which is, Mullahs, relied upon by the Election Commission as conclusive.
Para 106.
In para 106, Mullahs. Now, Mullahs, just see, come straight away to paragraph 28 at page 32. The applicant group, Mullahs, in para 28 is George Fernandez.
Claims that
Yes. The applicant group claims that the Janta Dal had become defunct and its functioning paralyzed, and that his group has revitalized or attempted to revitalize it by bringing its function according to the provisions of the party constitution. I need not go into the internal inter-party squabbles, but the records adduced by the applicant group itself do not substantiate its claims. The 90 group shows at least the following 4 things. A national executive of the party was existing on that day, and the applicant group has itself accepted the fact of his existence up to that day. 2, George Fernandez was himself a member of the national executive, and neither he nor any of the other 8 members of that committee whose support is claimed by the applicant group questioned the existence of the executive committee at that meeting on the ground that it was not a validly constituted body. 3, this is like Eknath Shinde, he was participating in everything. 3, Shri Bomai was being accepted as the party president, just as Mullahs in our case, up to the date of that meeting, and no objection was being raised to his occupying that office by anyone, including those who are now representing the applicant group. 4, Shri Bomai did not cease to be the party president or vacate that office at that meeting. Nothing has been brought on record to show that any such objections had been raised in any earlier meetings. Therefore, it is too late in the day for the applicant group to contend now that there is no validly elected president of the party and that there was no validly constituted bodies since the beginning. More so, in view of the fact that they themselves had acquiesced in those arrangements and were party to those arrangements at least up to 14th February 1994. Squarely, Manas covers our case, squarely. And the Election Commission relies upon it against us. Then, the subsequent events, as brought on record, also do not substantiate the claims of the applicant group that they alone have been acting in accordance with the party constitution. It is nowhere stated in any of its pleadings, nor disclosed in the oral submissions of the learned counsel for the applicant group as to when and where was George Fernandez elected or appointed as the party president, or by whom he was so elected or appointed. Further, nothing has been brought on record to show as to who convened the so-called National Convention of the Janta Dal on 1908 in Delhi. When such convention was called, who were the persons to whom invitations were sent as party delegates, except for a list showing the names of 39 persons belonging to Tamil Nadu, and who among them attended that convention. No notice for such convention or agenda for it has been brought on record. Similarly, the claims of state conventions and reorganization of state units are also bereft of material particulars.
Which is completely there.
And whereas he set up a Rashtriya Karkarni on his own. No notice, no nothing. This is all. Anyway, thus on these assertions and evidence adduced in support thereof, the claim of the applicant group as being the Janta Dal cannot be accepted. Now let us kindly come to 32. Learned counsel for the applicant group is right in its contention that while applying the test of majority, the Commission has to see the relative majority of the rival sections or groups in both the wings of the party, namely legislature wing and organizational wing. In support of the respective claims of majority, the two rival groups in the present case have filed the following affidavits in respect of the members forming the legislature wing of the Janta Party. So, either we don't have to go into that. Just let's skip that. Then let us kindly see para 36. Insofar as the application of test of majority of the organizational wing of the party is concerned, it is true that it is the primary members who constitute the party, but it is also equally true that it is well nigh impossible to ascertain the relevant strength of the primary members whose numbers may run into lakhs in the case of a national party, supporting one or the other rival factions or groups of the party in the case of a split. Therefore, the Commission has been applying this test of majority in respect of the bodies, committees forming the organizational wing of the party at the national or state levels. In several cases, even an exercise of such limited nature has resulted in a quagmire. The same consideration will weigh while considering the relative claims of both the groups in the organizational wing of the Janta Dal before the emergence of these two groups in June 94. This is important. Of the Janta Dal before the emergence of these two groups in 1994. And whereas I will respond to what my Lord Justice Bakshi said there, that we have to look at the unfolding of events. Well, that test is in fact rejected. And I will demonstrate that presently. Any later developments leading to the constitution or reconstitution of any committees, bodies at the various levels by the two rival groups may not lead us anywhere. Then let us kindly come straight away to para 40. Having regard to the above, I am unable to accept the claim of the applicant group that it is the Janta Dal and is entitled to use its reserved symbol, chakras.
The decision is based on organizational
So
majority also.
So the decision is based on organizational majority also in the case. So, Malas, the learned counsel for the applicant group has made an alternative prayer that if the party's symbol chakra was not allowed to be used by the applicant group, it should not be allowed to be used by the opposite group as well, as it would confuse the electorate. I'm not able to persuade myself to agree to this alternative prayer of the applicant group either. The general elections to the legislative assemblies of 10 states are due to be held shortly. Of these 10 states, the election would, let's let it go. Let's not leave that. Let's leave that out. Kindly come. But it's now para 40. So, he's decided the dispute. Here, he rejects the applicant's claim with his George Fernandez claim, right? On all counts. and says Bomai is legitimately elected and he continues to be the president. Now he says, before I part, and this is the part that the Election Commission relies upon in para 106. Says, before I part with this case, I would be failing in my duty if I do not highlight the sorry state of affairs prevailing in almost all political parties in the country, whether recognized national or state parties or registered unrecognized parties. Ad-hocism seems to be the order of the day in the functioning of almost all political parties. Maybe there are a few exceptions to this. In my stint as Chief Election Commissioner, during the last nearly 4 years, I have dealt with a number of cases of disputes arising at the national and state parties. I have yet to come across any party whose affairs are being run in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution or rules and regulations. As will be observed from the present case itself, the party was formed in 88 by an order dated 16/4/91. I had held that the party was formed by the joining of some leaders and of office bearers of the Janta Party and Lok Dal in their individual capacities, and not by the formal merger of those two parties, as was claimed by the Janta Dal. Some committees of the party so formed were constituted at the national and state levels on ad hoc basis, pending regular constitution thereof in accordance with the party constitution. The state of affairs as brought out by the Learned Counsel for the applicant group, to which a detailed reference has been